Is a small, intimate Indian wedding possible?
Not all Indian weddings are big and fat. Ours certainly wasn't.
True.
We will share all about it in this episode number 10 and give some tips about planning an intimate wedding together.
Yes.
So, without further ado, let's begin.
Let's start our story a little bit about our Indian wedding experience, how we did it. Well, actually, we had that idea. Also, it needs to be big, it needs to be grand. That's also what the family really wanted.
As expected.
As expected. And so we went looking for places, locations in and around Mumbai.
Yeah.
And as we were searching and we visited places, we kind of understood very quickly that it was not really our vibe.
Yeah, our thoughts evolved on like what we actually want for this day and how we would like it to be exactly. And it kind of, from the initial stage to what we finally decided, it changed quite a bit.
Yeah. As we along the way realized that why are we actually having this big grand wedding? Well, it's actually about love and it's about us and us having a good day with our near and dear ones. So we thought, hey, where have we met? In Goa. So why not have a destination wedding in Goa?
Yeah.
At a beautiful secluded beach.
Yeah.
And just only with a very small group of people, really close friends and our closest family members. So yeah, completely opposite of the idea of yes, it would be.
Yeah. And so then we started looking up places, I think in South Goa, because we thought that's usually the more calmer area and more suitable maybe for family events and things like that.
And as that also is the place where we have met. So what is close by where we
around the place that we met. Yeah, we started searching there. And then we found a very nice secluded beach property where we could potentially have this. And so we got in touch and then we fixed a date to go and visit the place, of course. And as it turns out, closer to the day of when we were supposed to fly down to Goa to see the venue, there was a warning issued for a cyclone coming up. Yes. And it was too late to back out. We decided, hey, let's just go in.
We dive into the cyclone.
Yeah, we didn't really know anyways how bad it's going to be.
Because sometimes it also just passes.
Yeah, so, exactly.
We have had it also in Mumbai that it's like a warning for a cyclone. But it was okay then. Yeah.
So then the day arrives and then we fly down there. And then as we reach, the beach property, we find out that thanks to the cyclone, which has already kind of begun and it's getting more and more intense with every minute, there's not really any beach anymore. Because
there was no beach.
There was no beach. The sea consumed the entire beach. There were big waves, violent waves, crashing right into like the walls of the property because it was at a bit of a height.
Yeah, it's kind of like at a hill.
So you have waves that are crashing into and splashing a little bit onto the beach huts that are facing the beach. And now the question was, how are we supposed to finalize a place for a beach wedding when we don't even know what the beach looks like? So that was an interesting turn of events.
We had a good time though there.
Yeah,
there was no electricity, no.
Yeah, there was no power, no internet, everything was disrupted. And so we got to spend some quality time together in nature, away from the rest of the world in this almost apocalyptic scenario with this storm outside our cabin.
Taking the positives out of it. No? Yeah.
So, and then we also had to, I think, move away because this place was rather remote. It's not easy to get there for everyone. And so we had to be moved and go to another place in Goa the next day. And for that we had to climb up through the mountainous area with like mud and forest and all these things with our bags and
It
everything.
was a nice adventure that we
Yeah.
had. Yeah.
And then luckily they were able to arrange a cab for us to take us to the nearest place, which was again waterlogged. So we are now walking through the streets with water up to our knees, holding our bags. And I think there was also a shortage of hotels that were open. We
Yes.
managed to find one.
Yes, because it was still off season
Yeah.
at that point that we went.
Yeah.
So this was kind of the reason why we needed to go again to see the place.
Yeah.
And when we arrived, it was actually stunning.
Yeah, the
So
second
that's the
time
moment that
was
we
really
really
when we
finalized
could,
it, I
we
think.
really
Yeah.
saw the beach. We could imagine what our wedding is going to look like, and
Yes.
we just booked it, and then it came down to, of course, it was just me and Tamara who were looking into planning this wedding. We didn't want to put things on our families, the Indian and the Dutch side of the family.
Yeah.
We thought it's a small, intimate wedding. We can plan this and handle this ourselves. We know exactly what we have in mind for this wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where our journey started. Like where maybe others already break up before
Many couples
the marriage even starts.
Yeah.
With the arrangements and managing everything and the discussions about it and right?
You hear these stories about how these wedding arrangements go, where many couples end up with so much conflict just in the process of trying to arrange their wedding. There's stress, there's difference of opinion. You're still new, maybe depending on how you met. Of course, you're learning things along the way about each other as you're planning the wedding. And it can get pretty intense, where, as you mentioned, that many couples even break up as a result of planning the wedding. There's no wedding anymore.
As it is a big project. Like a big managing project, and especially when you are doing it just together. And also trying to balance the differences in the culture also, and the ideas about it. And but I think for us it went pretty smooth.
Fortunately.
Yes.
And I mean, considering that we chose to do it a little differently than the Indian wedding normally is, at least in terms of size and scale. And because, as some of you may be knowing, the average Indian wedding, even in a major city like Mumbai, where the expenses are higher, Mumbai, Delhi, all these metros, is usually a small size wedding would usually be considered anywhere between 200 to 300 guests, including all your friends, extended family, your cousins, aunts, and uncles, and more. Many times there are people that you haven't really met in ages. Your family has to introduce you to them, so that you know who these people are actually. So guess what we did? Our numbers. Take a guess, all of y'all. We kept it. When I say we kept it small, we kept it really small.
Let us know in the comments if you were right or not.
So drum roll. The number that we came down to was 28 guests, including both of us.
Yes. A
So,
very, very small, intimate Indian
wedding. So you can imagine what a fun conversation that was with the family, especially the Indian side. And also explaining to maybe some of your extended family who are very keen to be part of your special day, that unfortunately, the way we have envisioned this day, we will do something with you all at another time, but this is how it has to be.
We really, really wanted to enjoy the day, not lived by the day, but really enjoy it fully to the max. So that's why we decided to have this cute little small Indian wedding, very intimate at a beautiful beach.
And now we had a small 2-day wedding in Goa at the beach. It was really lovely with our with our guests, our friends and family. Music, singing, dancing, everything, whatever we could do at our scale. And I mean, it all went pretty good. I mean, we look back with nothing but fond memories And I think given a choice, we wouldn't have really had it any other way, I believe, right?
Exactly. This was just perfect.
Yeah, it was a dream.
Yeah,
It was a nice little wedding, but it turned out to be a dream come true, pretty much exactly the way we had envisioned it.
Yeah, and our friends and family enjoyed fully.
Everyone had a good time.
That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. That's the most important thing. More than the scale, you both, the people who are getting married, have to be happy. Your families and friends who are attending, you want them also to have a good time, be happy about spending those days with you all. And that's exactly what happened, fortunately for us. Another thing that we were very lucky about was that we had this wedding right on time because 3 weeks after we had this wedding, the entire country, India, had to shut down because it was the year of the infamous 2020 pandemic. So we were very lucky that we had it just in time. Otherwise, we would have got stuck and would have had to postpone our wedding maybe by another year and a half, I don't know, or two. Yeah. So that was one good thing. And of course, then in India, it's accepted that, if you just have the wedding by ceremony, that's accepted as, that you are married legally.
Yes.
However, in other countries, it's not an option. You have to register your marriage. And we had to do that, which we did, which was another fun thing we had to do because it was right in the middle of the pandemic. Somehow that worked out with...
very difficult to get a spot in between somewhere. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Somehow it all worked out. It was again in the stars that it happened.
Yes.
At the last moment, bringing a few members of the family as witness, trying to find a cab who's willing to take us to the place.
In the most charming way, with a mask and gloves.
Yeah.
In the car.
Even our pictures, our registration pictures are, I think, with the mask.
Yes.
Everything. But it all worked out, fortunately.
Empty streets, in Mumbai, can you imagine? Only police on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And clear blue skies because there was not much happening in the pandemic. We actually could finally observe Mumbai can also be beautiful.
Yes.
But coming back to so this is how our, briefly our wedding planning went. And I think most importantly, what we would like to also, based on our experience, we would like to share how it was possible for us to do everything smoothly almost without any conflict, really. It was actually a pretty enjoyable process, if anything. I
really enjoyed having this project with you and learning each other's
way of thinking
and talents also in that way of thinking. We really because of this
bonded
and grew together even stronger. So how did we do this?
How did we do it? That's the thing. So
yes. Well, I think it first comes down to expectations, to have the expectations very clear from both sides. Like, what are your expectations? What are mine expectations? And can we find each other in the expectations that we have?
Yeah.
And
and what is the scale of the wedding that you want to have, what are the number of guests that you want to invite? What's the budget? That's a real thing. What's the budget for the wedding that you want to have? How much in that budget do you want to allocate to which part of the wedding? What you find more important, each other and, this kind of thing.
A very nice thing is actually maybe that we worked with a Google Sheet,
Yeah, we actually...
we had everything written out, very
detailed and structured,
So, and that both sides can really work upon it and you can see and you can comment. And so it was actually a very easy way for us to work with.
Yeah.
And expectations also, really the expectations, working with the expectations from the family members. Yeah. And that was also a very big change for strongly for the Indian side. To see and to explain and to why we want it in such a small way and to also have that clear from those expectations from all sides in that.
True.
Yeah.
And then, so the next thing I would say is plan as a team. So even though now there are many aspects in the wedding that y'all are looking into, and maybe one person is handling certain things, the other person is, you divide it kind of. But at the same time, it's always good that both of y'all keep each other in the loop about everything that is being planned so that there's no, you want, a good surprise is always amazing at the wedding, but you don't want an unpleasant surprise. So whether it's anything with regards to decorations, to the choice of music, any and every little thing for the wedding, I think it's good to plan as a team and keep each other in the loop, and so that there's no unwanted, unexpected surprises.
Yeah, even with the smallest of things, really ask each other for advice. Is
feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
This kind of
to have everything very, very clear, because even the details really matter.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that brings also to the next point. Find a common ground in everything that you do. It comes with expectations, but also with the team.
Yeah.
Working as a team, to really find a common ground in everything that you do. And does it match with each other?
Yeah.
And constantly reflecting together also. Like, okay, if we make this choice,
how's it going to go?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the more it's both of you are getting married. It's a special day for both of you, and both of you want to enjoy, make the most of it. So the more things that are in common that you choose, the more magical it's going to be for both of you. You're different people. Of course, there's going to be difference in maybe some choices, some ideas, but the more common ground you can cover, the more things you can focus on that both of you are going to enjoy, the more special the day is going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes also sometimes that you need to make adjustments for each other, but that's okay. Like as long as you find each other in it, then I think it works perfectly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, if you want to make it, we're talking about ways in which you can plan this thing smoothly. So plan early, start early. That's always a good thing, because the earlier you begin, the more choices, the more time for contingencies, unexpected things happening. You can, work around it, find solutions. And you'll be less stressful, which is when your emotions can be a little calmer.
Exactly.
And there's less room for conflict. Let's say that,
because if the time is very short, you feel a lot of pressure to get things done. And when there's more time, you can, like you said, be more relaxed in it. And take more time for choices that you need to make together. And And maybe I think one of the most important things, and especially on the days itself, to let go of perfection.
Yes.
Because we also had planned everything in detail.
Oh yeah.
Very detailed, and I made sure that there was a goodie bag for everyone in the room, and everything, small things we thought about. But it always goes different.
Yeah, there's always something that's going to end up a little differently, Exactly. But that's the most important thing, is that both of you all enjoy the day, your friends and family enjoy the day, everyone has a good time. People are always going to remember how amazing the things were, what was the feeling that they got from it, rather than maybe something that went a little off track. Can all be.
Just keep the main goal in mind. What is the main goal? That you enjoy fully.
Yeah.
And don't hold on to the smallest of things, because then you actually lose the enjoyment.
You lose track of what this is all for.
Exactly.
The big picture, the special day. What is it for? This is something that you want to remember for the rest of your life, and in a very happy and fond manner. And that is, in our opinion, only possible if you let go of perfection, because no matter how much you plan, no matter how much you manage, how good you are in planning, there's always room for something to go a little haywire, but that's okay. If you got most of the things have gone good, you've had an amazing wedding, just look back on it with joy and happiness. And focus on the next part of your life, because the wedding is one part, but the real marriage begins after the wedding day. So these were some of our suggestions based on our experience of how we planned our wedding, and how you can do it too in a smooth way with minimal conflict, and actually make it a bonding experience for both of you. And I hope you enjoyed.
Maybe for you, if you watched it and have other tips and tricks for making your wedding planning smoothly, please share in the comments. It's nice to hear. Yeah.
All right. Well, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
See you.